Well, hello. If you're watching this after the fact, I will be adding in chapter marks, if there are any that are worth listing. But yeah, today we're going to be trying to make condensation similar to this kind of look. That's a terrible reference. We'll find better ones. But using geometry nodes. So we're going to try and make every little blobble of water an actual physical bit of geometry. And yeah, see how it goes. I think I'm monitoring chat, so feel free to chat away. But yeah, let's get started with something. So what I'm going to do is let's give ourselves something to work on. A really boring looking window, but that will do the trick, I imagine. And what I want to do is separate out the mesh for the window. So that's window. Oh, it's just the one pane. Okay, well that makes it easier, I guess. I'll separate that out. And that's our window. In fact, what I'll do is hide the other stuff for now. And we'll just focus on a window. I'm having a little bit of trouble typing because I've got a bunch of stuff in the way. My microphone and my tablet. And yeah, I've got a feeling I'm going to end up falling out of this chair at some point. So that'll be good. Hello, Clara. How you doing? Cool. So jumping over to geometry nodes, we're going to just dive straight into that, I think. I'm going to get rid of the spreadsheet. We'll bring it back if we need it, but I want to see what I'm doing. In fact, I prefer it to have a vertical split, like so. Yeah, that will do the trick. And yeah, with the item selected, hit new, that'll give us our new set of geometry nodes. And then we need to decide what it is we want to do. I'm going to put in a horizontal split here and bring up my reference picture, which, as I said, we will be changing. Cool. So yeah, first let's just get some big blobs to appear over our window. That's the plan anyway. So we'll add in a distribute points on faces node and give ourselves a bunch of points to work with. More than that probably. And then we'll get a instance on points like so. And for our actual bubble geometry, I'm going to start with at least a icosphere. And we'll just dump that into the instance. And now bring the size way down. I don't know. Something like that. Yeah, that'll probably do the trick. Cool. So we want some randomization, but we also want to make sure we see our window. So let's just join the original geometry with this, like so. Wow, either you're a really slow typer or the update on this is horrific, because that message just came through. But yeah, glad you're doing good. Cool. So at the moment, all our bubbles are all the same size, and that's obviously not ideal. So let's add in a little bit of randomization by adding in a random value node. Then what we'll do is we'll leave it on a float because we want these to scale. We want them to still be bubbles and still be circular. And if we were to pick a vector here and then start messing with the scale, we'll end up with really distorted shaped things. And we do want a bit of distortion, but not now and not like that. So let's connect that up to the scale instead. And just play around with this value a little. I actually think the starting scale is a bit too high as well. So let's lower that to about an 0.7. Yeah. Maybe. Cool. We definitely need more of them though, so let's do. Now I'm very intentionally, you might think Poisson discs what we want here, because we don't want the bubbles to be touching. But I do want the bubbles to be touching, because bubbles do that. You get little blobs that have kind of hit each other and merge into a weird shaped double blob. And yeah, I want that, so we'll keep it. However, if we look at the wireframe, you'll see that they're overlapping each other. So if we get a mesh, God, I can't type today, a mesh boolean set it to union, I want to say, and then just feed that into there. We'll also need to realize the instances, so it just becomes mesh data like that, and then feed that in instead, and hopefully, hey, see that? It's actually formed these weird bubbly shapes. And then we could even, I guess we could subdivide, like so. Yeah, that's not too bad. And then shade. Smooth. Nice. Cool. We'll probably want to increase the subdivision later, but for now I think that will work relatively nicely. Okay. Hey, Mateus. Thanks for joining, man. So, now we've got the relatively okay looking big bubbles. The next thing I want to do is add in some little ones. So let's just duplicate our setup here. In fact, no, I'm going to be sensible. I'm going to add in a frame so I don't look like an idiot later when I'm all confused over what's doing what. Cool, so that's our big bubbles. And then we'll duplicate this. Oh, come on. Thank you. I've just ruined my chat display. My mouse moved on to the other stupid window. Let me just fix that. Hey, there we go. Cool, so this is going to be our little bubbles. So let me just feed that to there. And we'll just look at this on its own for now. Cool, so that's our bubbles, and for these we're going to want to go a lot smaller, so maybe 2, no, probably even smaller, tiny little bubbles, and a shed load more of them. Now these ones I will use Poisson disk for, because I don't fancy doing a Boolean operation on the amount that we're going to be looking at here. That does not sound like a fun day. Wow, that's a lot. Okay. 50,000? 80,000. All the thousands. Oh no, that's too many thousands. Oh no, it wasn't. Idiot. Hey! Okay, lots of fine bubbles. Sweet. I'll leave that about where it is, I suppose. Maybe a little lower so we get some really tiny ones. And we'll set the min distance to God knows. Has that pretty much stopped any? Maybe a little higher then. That's too high. Setting the minimum distance of the distribution to try and avoid too much of bubbles overlapping. A little is fine. But yeah, I think that will about do the trick. Nice. So let's reconnect our output to our join geometry node. No. There. Oi! Get in there. Thank you. And then we can grab that. I'll realise them as well. Ugh, get out of the frame. And then feed that into there. Hey! Alright, now I've done that, you can see that the big bubbles are too big, all the small ones are too small. What do you reckon? I think a bit of both, actually. So, for the big one, let's go down to 5? Yeah. And then for the little one, let's go up just a smidge, and maybe add in a few extra ones. Let's counteract that increase by changing that to 2. And then just set this to 200,000. Yeah, that's starting to come together. Okay. Alright, just so it's a bit easier to judge, I'm going to stop at this point with the nodes and just put in some basic materials just so we can start to see what we're doing. Cool. So let's jump over to... In fact, I need to give ourselves 2 materials, don't I? Let's get rid of the default ones, because they're bound to suck. So we'll call this one glass and water. How's my audio quality, by the way? I'm hoping it's coming through relatively nicely. Okay, so we've... I didn't do the shade smooth, did I? Let's add that. Shade smooth. Thank you. And then we'll set material. And we'll set it to water. Nice. And then I'll just duplicate. And... Cool. I've lost my chat window again like a moron. This is going to get really annoying, actually. I have ordered a like a little tablet holder so I can keep it off to the left of me. But right now it's kind of perched awkwardly below my keyboard, and yeah, not ideal. All right, okay. Thanks, Mateus. Yeah, I might be clipping. Let me just turn it down just a smidge. Hopefully that won't clip anymore. Test! Yeah, that looks alright. Cool. So let's jump over to shading, zoom in on the little window, and jump to rendered mode. And you can't, that's not going to work, is it, with that stupid lighting? So let's quickly add in, I'll just do it from here, a environment texture, open, and where do I keep all my, aha. Right, something overcast would be good, or overcast-y. Cloudy? Okay, we'll just go with that one and make do, I guess. But let me turn on... oh, no, never mind. Okay, so let's jump back to there. I'm just going to, again, make a little bit more room. Yeah, let's make it a vertical split. I always find that works better for videos. And viewport. What do you reckon anyway? Does it look better like this with the vertical split than horizontal? I think it does. Anyway. Cool, so this is our glass material. No, we're on our water one apparently. Okay. This is our glass material, and we're going to add in, shockingly, a glass shader. And go, boom. Job done. We will be adding thickness to this glass, because you definitely don't want to just leave it like that. But it will do for now, and then for this one, I'm actually going to use a glass shader as well, and I'll just set the IOR to 1.1. I think that's about right for water. And yeah, that's not a bad start. That's starting to look kind of condensation-y. Cool. So jumping back to geometry nodes, I'm just going to kind of quickly go through in my head what else I want to do. I want to create a little, like a vertex mask or something that I can write or paint on, like in the reference image. In fact, I'll probably just write condensation to be original and maybe draw in the streaks, and then use that as a weighting on the distribution, and also use it in the shader. So that'll be the next step I probably do. And then after that, I want to get super swanky. I want to give this a little bit of thickness. And then if I jump to side view and then wireframe, you can see that's the line of the window. Yeah, and we've got the bubbles on this side, but they're being duplicated, and because it's glass, we're going to see that. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to kind of boolean out or do something, maybe just a geometry delete, but something to make it so it's only on this side of the glass. But that definitely could be a challenge. So I'm going to save that till last. But yeah, that's the rough plan I've got, and then I think that'll about do us. Just a bit of tweaking after that, and we should have some funky looking condensation, I think. As a little disclaimer at this point, unless you're going to be doing a shot that is like this close, this whole thing is a complete waste of time. Use a texture from I don't know, Polygon or something similar. But yeah, don't, for the love of God, don't do this if the window's going to be a little tiny part of your scene in the background. That is a hideously bad waste of resources. So yeah, don't do it. Cool. What did I say I was doing? Oh yeah, we want to create a little vertex paint. Now, if I tab into edit mode, in fact, let's just turn off the geometry nodes for now. We have a grand total of 4 vertices. So if we paint at the moment, we'll just be affecting the values of 4 vertices, which kind of blows. So let's just, I don't know. Uh-oh. My mouse keeps going off the screen onto the second monitor at the bottom. I'm not used to it. I hate it. It's evil. Okay. I want to make sure these are roughly square. Yeah, that's about right. And then we'll subdivide it again, and again, and again, and again. There we go. That should be... Oh, no, maybe more, actually. Yeah, it should be enough for a weight paint. I'm tempted to go one more, but we'll try and get away with just that. I'm just going to hide you for now. Don't need you. Cool. So, let's create a new vertex group, and we'll call this mask, because I can't think of anything better to call it at the moment. And then we'll jump over to... wow, my brain's blanking. Aha, weight paint. Sweet. No, not weight paint. Well, we could use weight paint. I want vertex paint. There we go. And then we want to invert it all, so it's all black. And then I've got white, and I should be able to draw. Hey! So let's give ourselves a smaller brush. Oh, hold on. I've got some... Oh, no, it's just you saying that about the microphone. Cool. Okay, so... I'm not going to fit, am I? Condensation. Yeah. Professional looking. That'll do. Oh, that's just awesome. That just sums up one of my videos completely, doesn't it, really? In fact, no, I've got a better idea. Let me undo that. I'm going to do something that's definitely more me. Uh-oh. So, invert that again. Make the brush a little bigger. And instead, we'll do the classic smiley. Cool. So that'll be the start. Now, we will be coming back to this to add in some, like, trailing bits, but that'll do for the purpose of testing. So let's jump back to object mode there, jump back to shading, sorry, geometry nodes here. And yeah, we want to bring in that attribute. How do I want to do it? You know what I'll do? I'll just feed this value into... Aha! I see a flaw with my plan. Well, let's start on the little bubbles then. But yeah, the random mode, you can't... You kind of can, but it's a lot better to use the Poisson disk when using a mask, and it's because you get this new value called density factor, which is just like a multiplier for the result. So if I feed out from the group input here into the density factor, and then jump over to our geometry node modifier, we'll have it's there, density factor. Yeah. So I'll click on that, and that's not giving me my drop down. Okay, I'll just type it, mask. Uh-oh. Why is that? I think it's the driver for what I'm using to mirror or extend my screen to a tablet. It's playing up, and I don't like it. Well, that's clearly not right, is it? Or is it? Ah. That didn't work. That mask just came through as literally nothing. Mask. point? Am I being stupid? Yeah, the mask is there. Why is that not working? Ever get that feeling you're doing something really obviously stupid? Okay, let's look at... that's stuck on vertex paint as well. Go away. Okay, I'm just going to turn off the big bubbles for a minute. I just want to look at exactly what we're looking at. Didn't we have more little bubbles? Am I imagining that? Oh, no, it's because I'm... Let's just pretend we didn't see that. Okay. I'll turn off that. So, if I set this to 0.5, we get half the amount. If I set it to 0, we get none. So that's doing what it should be. So this should... What? Like, seriously, what? Thing. I just want to make sure it's not picking up a different attribute or something that I'm not aware of. That should absolutely work. How weird. I feel like I'm making like a really obvious error here and I'm just not picking up on it. What is doing it though? Where's Erindale when you need him, eh? That should work. I literally did a tutorial on it for Polygon not too long ago and it worked just fine. How odd. That is a real pain. Let me try feeding it into the density value here with a multiplier. A multiplier? A multiplier. I don't think that's going to work though, but we'll try it. Math. Multiply factor by that. Nope. What is happening? It almost feels like a bug. Like I'm it's always the easy route to blame Blender, but that should work. I genuinely do not know why that is not working. How odd. Well, that puts a serious clamp in my plans, like a huge one. And I bet I'm going to feel really stupid when someone points out what a moron I was. Okay, let's do some investigating by just having a look at the points. I don't want the geometry, no, go away. Give me the output, thank you. So we're just going to look at the points, which are way too big. Point scale. Set point radius, that was the one. Okay, so now we're just looking at points. I know they look a lot like the bubbles that we had, but they're not. They're just points. And if I connect this to that, they all disappear. So that's definitely the issue. It's not any of the stuff after it. How weird. This literally makes no sense to me. Oh, wait a minute. Vertex group isn't stored in the same place as a vertex paint, is it? Or is it? Am I being stupid? I am. That's what I'm doing wrong. Okay, you know what? I'll just do it as a weight paint. Wow. What a moron. Okay. Weight paint. Turn off geometry nodes. And instead... Mateus, you should have spotted that problem. If you haven't logged off, then I'm blaming you. Okie dokie. Geometry nodes. Thing. Density factor. Enable. Hey! No, we want to invert it, don't we? I really should have thought of that. Can you invert it from here? Oh, you know what? I'll just do the math for it. So if we get a math node and just multiply it by -1. No, divide by -1. I can never remember. Clamp. Why ain't that working? Oh, because it's a weight value, isn't it? Can you invert a weight paint? Curious minds want to know. Ah! Okay, that was a hideous bit of me screwing up, but we got there in the end. And now we have a weight paint affecting our... what do you call it? Our distribution. So I'll add in another join geometry node. And connect those up like that. I like to watch you suffer. I bet you do. I bet you're sitting there with a big cheeky grin on your face. Cool. So let's go to render mode again. Nice. Now I'm actually going to leave the big bubbles, I think, because if you look here, the little bubbles go away with the written word and the drip bits and whatnot, but the big bubbles stay. So I'm actually going to leave that for now, and probably up the density a little bit of the smaller bubbles. Let's double it. Let's get crazy. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Now there's two ways we could go about because I want to tackle now what I was talking about before, where we only have bubbles appearing on this side. And I guess there's two ways we could do it. We could... I think, we could Boolean off the object before distributing it. That's probably going to be computationally better, I would imagine. Although maybe more complicated to figure out. Yeah. No, I think that's the route we're going to go down. Okay, cool. So let's disconnect the little bubbles for a little minute and look at the big ones. And what I'll do is I'll grab the group input, move it over here, and we'll just take a look at our icosphere for now. Wherever that thing's hiding, there it is. Oh, incidentally, one of the most annoying parts of geometry nodes sometimes is once you've got loads of objects. Thankfully, I'm just looking at this icosphere, so I was able to zoom in on it with the numpad period key. But if you have a lot of stuff going on in geometry nodes, it can be really difficult to focus in on a specific point. They definitely need to address that at some point. Anyway, I digress. So, what my idea then at this point is to make a cube the same size and then Boolean off half of it, basically. So, yeah, let's add in a cube. And move this up a little bit. Get you out of there. Cool. So this cube needs to be roughly the same size. For now, I'm just going to do a join geometry so I can see the two together. I'm probably missing some really handy keyboard shortcuts here, but oh well. And then we'll jump to wireframe mode. No, wireframe mode. And then as I increase the size of this, there we go. So now you can see our cube around our sphere. And then I can just position it a little along the axis. That's going to be the one I've got to try and figure out what we're doing here. So I need to see the rest of the window. Otherwise it's not going to make any sense. What way's front? So that's the front of my window. So I keep it at that angle and then jump back to here. We want to move it along. Is that going to be the X? No, the Y. just before the center point. So there's no intersection directly with the window. I know in real life the water would be touching the window, but just to avoid any shader issues, I think that would work best. So like 4.9. Yeah, that should work nice. Yeah, I originally planned to do this a way more computationally heavy way. I was going to take the final result of all the bubbles and use a big box and then boolean the whole lot. But this just occurred to me this is going to be, I think, a hell of a lot better. But we'll see. Okay, so now we want a mesh boolean, a difference. So we want to subtract the cube from the icosphere. And please be nice. Please be nice. Hey! I can get rid of that now as well. We just have our half bubble. Nice! That actually worked a lot better than I was expecting. Excuse me, I forgot to create a hotkey for muting. Now I regret that. Okay, so if we reconnect our setup here. Let it think for a sec. Hello. There we go. And then instead of using the icosphere, we'll use the Boolean version. And we should have... Nice! That is exactly what I wanted to see. We don't have our original window though, do we? Cool, and then the bubbles aren't going through the window. Wow, that actually worked a lot better than I was expecting. Fantastic. Cool. Now we can do the same for the little bubbles. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Initially I was just going to not bother, because they're so small. I was hoping it wouldn't have an impact, but with this new method it makes it super easy, so we may as well. So yeah, let's grab our cube and set position. Drop it in here. I just need to have a quick drink of coffee. Which is pretty much what I survive on a Wednesday, because I'm always up until midnight due to a rather late work meeting. Cool. So we need to join geometry here so I can again see how the cube looks compared to the, what do you call it? If I had an extra output, can I click between them? I would assume so. No? That not feel like working? That seems kind of dumb. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. On that note, save. Oh. I'm sure I created a folder for this. No. Keep hitting the stupid tablet with my hand and it stops me from typing. Right, no, that needs to move. That's too mad in. Sorry guys, just give me a second here. I just reached my patience limit. There we go. I've got it precariously hanging off a desk. See you later, Mateus. Right. Awesome. So next I'm going to be giving it a name. And we will save it. Like so. I've screwed up my frame, haven't I? Yeah. Oh, fine. I'll worry about frames later. Let's grab that down here. And then connect that up like so. Cool. So, like before, we have our Boolean. I could probably just Boolean it like that, to be honest. But no, let's at least vaguely do it properly. So, .005. And then .02. No. .002. That should do nicely. And then we'll get another mesh boolean. Drop that in like that. Take the cube away from the sphere. No. Just the cube. Thanks. And we have our half bubble, which I can feed into there. And that should give us a very clean... Come on. Don't fail me now. Hey! It didn't crash. Nice. That actually turned out a lot better than I was expecting. And yeah, it hasn't even taken up much time. This could be a short stream, people, because I've got nothing else planned, I'm afraid. And when I say people, I don't think there's even anyone in the room. I'm talking to myself. But I was expecting that. Last time I did live streams, it was mostly after the fact that people watched. But I will be doing this every week on a Wednesday from now on. Mostly for my own amusement. And to, yeah, just to give me some... an excuse to practice with geometry nodes. Okay, so what else do we want to do? I want to add some thickness to the window. So, let's do that. I'll just disable this for a second, and I'll just tab into edit mode, and we'll just extrude a little. That's about window thickness, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know. How long's a piece of string? Okay. But one thing I do want to do is make sure that only... This would have been easier before subdividing. Note to self for next time. Yeah, we want to... Why can't I... There we go. I only want the front of the window to have the condensation on it. So what I'm doing is marking that whole side. Oh no, I think I screwed up there. No, I didn't. Did I not? I don't even know. No, that looks about right. So now I can use this mask. No, it will still be a weight paint, won't it? Yeah. So we'll call this selection. And we'll call this mask. Cool. So this is the selection, and I'm going to assign all of that to the front there, and then on our node we should have. Well, no, we won't have yet because I've not exposed it. So we only want to distribute on the selection. So I'm going to feed the selection to there, and then select. Why hasn't that updated? It should be called mask and selection. Or did I type it in? So that's mask. And this is selection. Will this work? I think this will work. Well, there's one way to find out, isn't there? No, that wasn't it. Ah, moron. Come on. Okay. No, that works. Sweet. So we'll do the same for... Why are there no little bubbles on the back side? Oh, there are, but they're on the inside. Oh, is that actually working or not then? Yep, no big bubbles. Just the little ones. Sweet, that's fine. So once we move this to here, that should solve that. Please. Hey, apart from, what, one? What are these doing? What are they doing there? Why am I changing my accent midway through a broadcast? That makes no sense to me. Okay. Okie dokie. You know what I'm going to do? Weight paints can be a bit tricky because they tend to bleed over the edges a little. So, I'm guessing that's going to be the problem. So, let's turn off the geometry nodes for a second. Jump back over to edit mode. And from the front, I'm just gonna... Okay, I'm just removing these outermost lines of faces. Lines of faces? Yeah. Oh. There we go. Okay, let's see if that fixed it. Come on. Yeah, that fixed it. That's what the problem was. Awesome. Okay, let's bring back all of that stuff. And rather than just... You know what I'm just going to do? I'm just going to duplicate this. Uh-oh. Did I want to hit duplicate? Move it to, what, about there? And then about... I think this has got some transform locks. Yeah, it does. I really don't like these windows that come with, is it Archimesh or Archimesh? Archimesh, yeah, I don't like it. Sorry, whoever made it, but yeah, it needs more work in my opinion. Cool, so we have our window set up, and when I jump to rendered mode, it should look fairly window-like. Yeah. And then if you're looking at it from the back, you're just getting the effect of the rain on the outside, but not on the inside. Though I don't like this. This, what the hell is that about? I know what's doing it. It's just like the glass shaders, like built-in mix between refractive and glossy and transparent, or whatever it's doing. It's the finale of that's catching it. But why is it not letting me see through? That's a bit weird. Or is it... Oh, it might be a clipping thing? I don't think so, though. Let me... I can't think what I'm doing now. Let me turn off the clipping for... No, it wasn't that. How bizarre. Let me check my normals, because that can have a fairly large impact on... I'm seeing red. Red's bad, people. Red's bad. That's probably what was causing the problem there. Okay, so let's turn that off, and that. Oh, so the original window had bad normals, so when I extruded that, it made it double bad. Nice. Wow. Let me just grab that and recalculate outside. Nice and blue. Recalculate outside. Nice and blue. And then, I guess this bit. Will that even work? And we see blue. And I'm guessing that now... Come on. Just test it on the one. Our problem will be fixed. Yep, it's fixed. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I'm still surprised of how easily this has come together. Let's start making a bit of a... I might as well do a render, I suppose, of some description. So, I'm just going to make a cube. Just make it a little bigger than that. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's just going to be our room, basically. So I'll add in a solidify, like so. And then one of the handy things about these windows is they come with a boolean. So I can just click that and hit Control numpad minus. Hey! And it'll boolean out the wall. That only works, by the way. Control... no, I didn't know it for years, but there's a little add-on called Bool Tool. It's part of Blender. You just have to enable it, and that will allow a few keyboard shortcuts for booleans, including Control minus to do the cutout like that. Cool. So now we can jump back to this view and add in a camera. Set our scene resolution to 1600 by 1600. We'll do a square render today. Because why not? Maybe a little bit wider, actually. Yeah, something like that will be nice, I think. And render. Cool. So now we're getting like the darkness of the room behind is coming through. But I want to slightly position this up. Maybe rotate it, get it at more of an angle so we can see the other window. Yeah. It's hideous. Oh, you know what? It will do. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, let's enable you as well, is I want to use that same mask that we used earlier to try and affect the shading of the glass. So let's jump over to shading, funnily enough. Maybe we'll be better off without bubbles, actually, for this. Let's turn them off. Just on this window. And then what we'll do is... I'm trying to remember how to bring in an attribute now. I guess it's a... Can I do it from here, or can I just bring in a weight paint? I actually can't remember. Let's just try it here. In my defense, though, I've been doing a lot of geometry nodes today on something else, and it has melted my brain somewhat. Oh, a few more people joined. Awesome. Yeah, cool. Glad you're enjoying it so far. If you've got any questions about the workflow as I'm working on it, just type away, because I'm happy to explain it or demonstrate or whatever. So yeah, feel free. But yeah, jumping back to the vertex panel, if we go to the, what one was it, the mask, and type mask in here, will that work? I don't know. No. Does it have to be a vertex paint? I don't think you can use a weight paint in... Oh, that's a pain. That is a pain. Or can you? I literally can't remember. So, I'm going to Google. Guess that's how this stays going, apparently. There we go. Use weight paint in material. But this is good viewing too, because... yeah, I'm making a plan. I'm not sure I understand your problem, but weight paints to give... Oh, you can't do it. So a vertex paint won't drive the geometry nodes, and a weight paint won't do the material. That's awesome. Fantastic, Blender. Okay, change of plan. This happens. It's part of why I wanted to do these videos with like absolutely zero preparation. I want you to see the same annoying, pissy problems that I run into. So let me, instead of what we'll do is we'll use a texture for both, like an image texture. So image texture, new, I'll make it, I suppose 1024 will be enough. I don't know. One benefit of doing it this way, that big subdivision I did on the window, you can skip that. You don't need it if we're doing it as a texture. Cool. I'll also need to make sure that our windows are UV unwrapped. So I'll just do this one for now. Smart UV project. That'll give us a window, and then we can jump over to the UV editor. In fact, I should have done something different. If I just project from view, like so, that gives us our window, and then I'll just scale that up to fit the texture. Yes, they'll be a bit wasted, and no, I don't care. If you want to be efficient, you're probably watching the wrong channel. No, efficiency is important, but not on a live stream. not when you're trying to fix a problem. So, we've got our UV done, so I can hit new texture now. I'll make it 20 by 48, and we'll call it the mask window wipe mask. Yeah, we'll call it that. And now if we go over to texture paint, and I should just be able to draw on here now. Is it this window that I'm drawing on? Yeah, awesome. So we'll go smiley face again, because who doesn't love a smiley face? Eyebrows? Yeah. Cool. And then we can save that as I'll just dump it straight in the root of the folder. That's now saved. And then I can go over to the texture paint. And that'll be there, of course. But, in theory at least, I can also... I probably can't grab it from there. So, this mask value, what I'm going to do, instead of feeding it out, I'll just add in the image texture that we just made. And maybe that will work, possibly. I do hope so. Give it a sec to think. Nope. Nope, that broke it. Son of a... Doobie-doobie-doo. Why? That is so annoying. Why is that not working? The texture is definitely right, isn't it? It has saved. Yeah. But it's not letting us use that in geometry nodes either. Awesome. Thank you so much, geometry nodes. That's exactly what I wanted to see today. Okay. I'm just backing up a few steps here to where we were. I can't think of a good way to use the one source. No problem, Blender Pete. But yeah, does anyone watching have a clue on how to use the same mask in both geometry nodes and a shader? For anyone who's just joined, I was using a weight paint for geometry nodes because a vertex paint wouldn't work, but a weight paint won't work in a shader. So my thought was, oh, just make a texture, which works in a shader, but that too doesn't apparently work in geometry nodes. Or if it does, I'm just too stupid to understand why it's not. Could be mapping. Could be a mapping issue. It doesn't know that. It should do, because it's coming straight from this geometry, which is UV unwrapped. No, I'm sorry. I'm only working on... Well, actually, no. I'll test to make sure it wasn't something that stupid. But I think I'm only working on this one. Yeah, it's this one that I'm working on. And it's just not having it. You're right. I haven't unwrapped that window. But, yeah. It's not having it on this one. Why am I just looking at it from different angles? Oh, my God. Am I confused? Have I been that stupid? What side's the paint on? No, I'm working on the right window. Phew, you worried me there, though. I thought I was being a complete moron. For the vector, use UV map. Ah, what? Like an attribute. Or a value, I should say. Where's that? Is it a value node? Nope. Has it actually got a UV map one? See, I've never used textures, can you tell? Well, in geometry node, I mean. Oh, no. Oh, no, please say it's not that easy. No. No. If I just... So I've got a bunch of systems here. Let's go to the group output, sorry. So we're just looking at the little bubbles. And yeah, I'm getting nothing. See, but yeah, how do you connect up the UV map to this? Is there like a attribute name thing you can type in, or? I feel like this is something I should know. In fact, I feel like this is something I have known and have since forgotten. But yeah, I'm clueless here. Awesome. This is so frustrating. Okay, you know what? No, screw it. We're going to get creative. I guess. So the density factor, I'll whack into there. And that comes back straight away. Good. And then we didn't use it on the big bubbles because that looked cool as it was. Cool. Okay, so new strategy. I'm going to attempt to do it. I'm going to use a geometry proximity node to create a mask that I can pass along to the shader. That's my new plan. It could be a total fail, but let's have a look. Geometry proximity. I am reading the comments, by the way. String UV map. Oh, thanks. I want to try that, just in case that works. You would have thought that would be the default. What, just plug it in there? Like that? No, that can't be right. Does it go in there? No. Am I being stupid? I'm missing something obvious? I'll wait for a response while I attempt this. So I'm going to put in a geometry proximity node to... Proximity of what to what, though? Ugh. I guess the target would be the window. What works, Blender Pete? And we'll use faces. And then I want to store named attribute. I'm just trying something here. And the value, or the name of the attribute, I'll call text mask. Absolutely no idea if this is going to work or not, but I feel like trying it. Feed in the value. Let's copy that for a second. Okay, let's give this a go, see if this works. So, attribute, no. There we go. I'm going to try. What do we get from this? Absolutely nothing. Oh, no, we do. This might work. This might work. Maybe I want to bring that down. It's not working. It's just, I got excited, but it's because the bubbles are still the glass material and they're just doing their refracty thing. That didn't work. Damn it. The image texture works for the density. No, it wasn't. Look, I'll show you. Or if it doesn't, then if it does work, then I'm being an idiot. But yeah, let me jump back over to geometry nodes and reload the texture into here, and I'll just feed the density factor in there, I guess. Let it update. Come on. Come on. Yep, nothing. Gets rid of the whole lot. It don't like it. And I honestly, the only thing I can think of, because we know the texture's working, because I can see it in the shader, so the only thing I can think of is this isn't being UV mapped. And I can't figure out how to do that, because I'm too stupid. Surely the default for an image texture would be the UV, though. That just makes no sense if it isn't. I'd understand if I was like referencing I wasn't working on the base geometry, but it's the base geometry going in, straight away going to an image. Surely that should just be using the UV map. So odd. Oh well. Come on. There we go. And I can't select density factor here, can I? What's the texture called? No. It don't like it. So annoying. And I can't get my geometry proximity to work for some reason, probably because I'm being an idiot, I would imagine. Crap. All I really wanted to do here was kind of... you know, I'm just going to go super lazy, just because it's a live stream and I don't want people to start banging their heads on the screen out of boredom. So let's get rid of that. Come on, delete. And that. And then what I'll do is we'll jump back over to shading, click our little mask there, and let's do this from... these are back to front, I just realised. No. Why am I... I've just realised I've got the water on the inside. Maybe it's a really humid room, but yeah, we'll fix that in a minute. Anyway, that's not the important thing. Important thing is fixing the god-awful issues that we're having here. So I'm going to grab this mask again, jump over to our texture paint, and I'm just going to create a new mask. Why isn't that texture appearing? Have I not got the... Uh-oh. Have I not got the thing selected? Come on. Wow, geometry nose makes things slow. Come on. Why can't I see the paint? Am I being completely stupid here? Wow, this does not want to give me a break today. Maybe it's because geometry node is on. It is. Okay, so I'm going to delete this mask and trace the other one really poorly, which is yeah, kind of terrible. Don't do what I'm doing, okay? Uh-oh. Oh, because that's being referenced in the geometry nodes, even though it's not being used, it's slowing everything down. But they're not even on. Why is that so slow? What is going on? Why does the world hate me? I can't even paint. I can't even click on anything now. Uh-oh. Have I screwed something up? Come on, Blender. Wow, this is slow. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to give up. I cannot be bothered with this at the moment, and the solution is eluding me. Unless someone's had a genius idea. You're just stupid enough. Yeah, definitely. No, I actually enjoy this. I like the fact that you get to see me getting completely stumped. That's part of the fun. Okay, I'm just going to tab into edit mode on this. Rotate it all by 180 along the Z. Should make the bubbles on the right side. Oh god, no, that was a bad idea, whatever I did. Okay. Oh god, have I broken this now as well? Oh, it's all going wrong. It's all going wrong, people. Oh, I didn't undo the rotate, apparently, because they're all on the inside of the glass now. Or are they? I don't even know anymore. Why aren't you working then? Oh, I'll just copy that one over if I need to. I can't be bothered. Right. That's a real shame. I really wanted to do... Basically what I was trying to do, in case it wasn't obvious, is take the mask that we had, the weight paint, which I can't use apparently, and use that to control the roughness, so I could kind of like give it a slightly rougher look around the bits where there's water, and then the bits where there's been someone drawing on the window, it's clearer. Because I think that would really sell the final thing, but I can't figure out a good way of doing it now, which is really irritating. So the image texture does work in your version. You reckon it's a bug? Have they brought out anything since 3.21? Because I can easily download another version. Blender.org. That's not right, is it? Download. No, I got the latest one. Must be a bug in this one, I guess. What version are you using? I know I'll need to wait for the response, but yeah, I'd be interested to know. I'm so stumped here. That's really annoying. Consider me annoyed. Okay, so as I turn off geometry nodes, I should be able to paint on here without too much hassle. Why won't this delete? Do I have to subtract? I don't texture paint often, can you tell? Is it? This wouldn't be add. It would be mix, wouldn't it? So wouldn't that just delete it? Ugh. Oh, I'm getting annoyed now. Okay, you know what? Screw it. I'll create a new one. Window, mask, fail, number 2. There we go. Perfect. And then I'll texture paint on this. Since I can't in texture paint. Okay, so you could have used my finger to mark where we are, because you could, I suppose I could paint while it's on there, I just wouldn't see it. I hope this is working, or I'm just painting nothing. I can neaten it up afterwards. No, it didn't work. I hate you. I hate you with a passion. Okay, so we have to do it like this. This is what's known as a bodge job. Do not do this at home. A little bit bigger. Bodge jobs can work. Just watch any video I've ever made. There's proof there. Come on. Come on. Okay, and then a kind of an eye there. I bet someone's going to watch this after the fact and point out how ridiculously stupid I've been. So in advance, thank you to that person for figuring it out. Okay, and then a kind of spirally bit there. This is terrible. I hope there's some smiles on people's faces, because there deserves to be, at how utterly awful this is. But it has to be close, doesn't it? Come on. Ugh, you know what? That should be about right. This needs to cut down a bit lower. And we're calling that done. Somehow. So now I'm just going to save as window mask fail number 2. And I can jump over to shading. Nice. And turn on my geometry nodes. We'll break it up with a texture. It'll be fine. And we'll use that to... Why doesn't that look rougher? Is that not even using the right material? Let me just jump over to geometry nodes. Oh, I've not set the wrong material on it. Let's just double sure though, in case I'm doing something that's confusing it somehow. Oh no, it has worked, I can see now. Yeah, man. Yeah, you can see the roughness. You just have to zoom out a little bit. No, that can't be right, because it would be like super rough, wouldn't it? Okay, come on. What the actual hell is going on here? Yeah, there's a bug or something. Because look, this is probably why the data wasn't coming through. I'm using 3.2.1. Yeah, this is definitely definitely I think a bug. Definitely I think a bug. Because I can see the texture quite clearly and I can see the material here. And this material is called glass, which is the one that's assigned to it. There. But when I turn on geodes, I just get black. What? What the hell? That is so weird. Definitely using the right glass. I haven't got 2 glass. I don't know. That's using water and water. That's using glass. We're realising the instant. I've got a random mesh boolean there for no reason. Oh, that's just, yeah, booleaning the bubbles together. What the hell? This is crazy. Well, at least we know why the texture wasn't working. So it's most definitely a bug. Oh, a very disappointing bug. So if I reconnect the glass shader, but disable geometry nodes, you see the roughness. But that roughness immediately goes away once I activate geometry nodes. Okay, definitely a bug. I don't know if anyone's trying to replicate this on their end in a different version, but I'd be intrigued to know if that's right or not. But yeah, that really sucks, because I can't think of a good way of getting information from geometry nodes over to the shader about where these empty spots are. And I can't use density factor for reasons. Okie dokie. Okay, I still think proximity is the way to go then as a backup plan, but I can't wrap my brain around what to do with it. So let's have a play around with that, and if that doesn't work, we'll just give up and finish off the scene. So geometry proximity. I can use a distance-based mask, in theory, to... yeah, okay. So if we use our little bubbles as what it's referencing, what it's looking at for the target, and we use our original geometry, which is this line here, to capture, to store a new attribute. Just give it a sec to refresh. In fact, just for speed, I'm going to disconnect. No, I can't because I'm using it. Okay, never mind. Yeah. And then feed the distance into there. I swear this is what I did last time. Maybe I got it backwards. Maybe I've got it backwards this time, and we'll call this more fail. Gem on. And then jump back over to shading. And then add in a new attribute. Geometry. More fail. Oh! Oh! Yes! We're in business. Sort of. it'll do. I'm taking it. I'm taking it. I'm taking it. Okay, so we have something to work with, kinda. Did he just do it to me again? No, I was worried there. Cool. So yeah, let's get a map range, and yeah, we want these. Well, we want this to be the kind of the invert of what's happening now. So let's set that to 1 and 0, and then nope. Ooh. It's not perfect, but it's better than we had. Come on. I like it. Yeah, that'll do, won't it? Kinda. As a mask. Hey, I figured out a workaround. I'm a happy chappy. So now we can feed that into our roughness. Like so. Yay! It kind of worked. And then we just, whatever we change this value to, will be the maximum possible roughness. So we'll set that to about 0.3, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I wanted. That's all I wanted. Is that difficult? Stupid freaking thing. Awesome. Happy days. Okay, I'm going to reposition the camera and get it a bit more close to this window because it's the one we want to focus on, I guess. And we'll try and do some funky stuff with the lighting and then probably call it a day because that stressed me out. I do need to disable that for a second, duplicate this window and kind of plonk it there. Oh, and we also need to make sure the water's on the right side. Let me just go origin to geometry, and then I should just be able to rotate it 180. Do the same to that one. And rotate 180, and then we should have, one would hope, bubbles on the outside of the house rather than the fucking inside. Yay. Good. Nice. Okay, the only other thing I want to do really is I want to slightly change that weight paint because I want to add in kind of, if you look at the rather lame reference image I picked, it's got those like kind of little streams where bubbles collected and then fallen. I want that. I want that, please. One of those to go. Nope. Yep. Cool. Now I can just, set the weight to 0 and then just draw. E. No. So let's try and roughly do what that's kind of doing. So it's kind of, we'll just do a streak here, I guess. And then one here. E. And then one maybe from there. I've no idea if they'd actually make it all the way down to the bottom from there. I'm no condensation expert. I don't know, is there such thing as a condensation expert? There must be. Just try and clean this weight paint up a little bit while I'm at it. There we go. Get back to where we were. Yeah, why not? We'll call that working. I guess. Okay. Back over to that window. Geometry nodes. And we should see... Yay! Now, I did say this at the start, but I think people have joined since then. For the love of God, don't do this. Like, if you want condensation on a window, go to a texture website, download a condensation texture, and use it. This is not an efficient way of doing condensation. It's more of a learning exercise. The only way it would possibly make sense is if you're, like, zoomed in. Like, I'm talking, like, super close. Then maybe. But for 99.9% of use cases, this would be a dumbass idea, so don't do it. Why have we got streaks on that side, but not that side? Because it's not duplicated the weight paint, has it? Oh, can I copy it over? Right, I don't want to screw this up. Copy... Transfer mesh data? Weights. That didn't work. Link object data. Nope, I did it backwards. This is going to work. Come on, undo. So we want it the other direction. Like that. Link object data. I mean, ideally you'd want a slightly different weight paint on that one anyway. But, yeah, who cares? Cool. Okay, going back to shading then. What we're going to need to do is jump inside our house like so. And we're not getting any light through at the moment. Do I have... Core 6 is on. There should be some light getting through, but apparently not much. So what you could do is just go to the glass material. Sorry, the window material. Boink. I've got the wrong object selected. I was getting panicky there. Yeah, so you could like use a transparent node and a mix shader and use a, what is it called? A light path, and just grab the shadow ray, and that should let in more light. Or is it because the wall's not got a material, I suppose? That's not letting in any light at all, is it? How weird. I definitely think there's something up. I bet if I turn on geometry nodes and suddenly light starts through, like lots of light, then we definitely have an issue. No. Maybe it's just me being an idiot. Or maybe it's the roughness. No. But we're going to fake it anyway. I was only doing this to demonstrate, but we'll just fake it and add in just a lamp with a little bit of light. Mesh, sorry, a light, area light, and we'll just kind of whack that up there. Maybe move it to the back of the room, over there somewhere. I don't want it to reflect off the window, so probably the other side actually. Yeah. Move that to about there, and then turn down the strength. Just wanted a little bit of light. I didn't want it to be completely black. And yeah, that will do. Cool. Okay. Now I don't think I have a good night HDR because I kind of wanted to do like a night look with a street light hitting the water. I thought that would look pretty cool. But yeah, let's see what we've got for HDRs. I can't be asked to go on a HDR hunt. Night. Oh, that's cool. Ooh, pretty. And I'll rotate it. Do we find a bit we like? I don't actually want much of the light hitting the window because I wanted to do that manually. I just want this to be literally the backdrop. Okay, I do need a higher resolution version one though. So what's this called? Satara Night. Now I don't have them all downloaded. They're on Dropbox though, so if I select one it should download it, I think. Satara No lamps. Ooh, even better. Right, everything will freeze now because it's the way Dropbox works. Blender thinks the file's there. It asks for the file and then Dropbox has to download it. Cool. So we've got our slightly better resolution backdrop. And now we can get funky with the lighting. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll jump over to layout for now. And we'll turn that into a viewport as well. We'll make this our rendered view. And then we've got another viewport to move things around with. Nice. So let's add in a, I don't know, point light, I guess. And we'll kind of move it around a bit. Obviously we don't want it in view, but we want the impression that it's there. Okay. And give that kind of a... I don't really want to use... I don't want to guess colours. I want to use black body. That's what I want. And just guess a kind of street lampy sort of colour. I don't know. Yeah, I'll do. Whack the strength up a little. Just want to play with the exposure as well. We'll set this to high contrast and then whack this exposure up a little. Yeah, that don't look too bad. Okay, let's duplicate. In fact, no, I'll just add a new point light. And in fact, no, I will duplicate it. I will. So we'll duplicate that, and that can be our light across the street. Maybe that it's gonna just catch a bit of there. Hey, that's not bad. And oh, I wish I had like a pre-set up neon thing. I could have had a barely readable sign from like across the street. I don't know. We'll just imagine that there's some sort of neon thing, and I'll make this one a very unnatural red sort of colour. And ooh, they're pretty. I don't think I want it quite that excessive. I'll turn that down in a sec. Just give the impression that there's some kind of neon light shining. Live sex show from 10 AM or something. I don't know. Yeah, ain't looking too shabby. At this stage, I actually want to do a quick render. I want to see how things are looking. So let's have a look at our render settings. My defaults are pretty good as they are, I think. Just up that so we're not waiting around forever. Yep. Yeah, cool, we're good. For 12 moment. Now I just realised I've not read comments for ages, so let's have a look. Oh no, all looks good. Good. I'm just gonna hopefully okay, stream's still going good. I can't tell how to see how many viewers I've got. I know you can do it, but I'm not used to this, and I'm working on a relatively small screen. More, to be honest, more than I was expecting. I genuinely thought I'd be pretty much here on my own today, so to have around 10 is perfectly fine by me. Hopefully it will grow next time. Yeah, that's not bad. It's not perfect. What do you think? I'm thinking the big ones need to be a little bit bigger with a bit more variation, and the little ones perhaps a little bit smaller with a texture to break them up. That's what I'm thinking. So, yeah, let's give that a go. See if that helps our cause. And then it's 8:30 now. So Probably call it a day after that. Okay, jumping back over to geometry nodes then. We don't need our reference image, it was shite anyway. And honestly, that's where I've gone wrong the most here, and I do it a lot. We should be constantly looking at reference images to make sure that we're getting everything correct, and we're not doing that at all. And by we, I mean me. And that's bad. Bad Bill. But, hey. Who cares? Alright, yeah. I'm looking at my own setup that I made literally an hour ago, and I'm completely lost already. So, what did I say? Right, big bubbles I want a little bit bigger and a bit more variation in them. So, let's go for 0.07. I wonder what's slowing it down so much. Do you reckon it's the booleans? Shouldn't be? No, that's way too big. Maybe they need to be smaller, actually. And more of an odd shape. Yeah, I think that's what we need. They're too bally. That's the problem. It's not the size, it's the shape of them. We need to distort them with possibly a noise texture, something like that. So yeah, let's experiment with what we can do there. So to make sure this doesn't get tedious, let's go and just look at what we're looking at, which is these balls. And is that delete? Why? That's not Boolean correct, is it? Why is that not correct? Do you see what I mean there? It's like the Boolean should be like a straight line there, but these little bits will be poking through the window. That's not allowed. I'm not sure why that's doing that. Self-intersection could be the issue. Let me click that. Nope. Nope. Is the actual Boolean itself okay or not? No, it's not. Okay, maybe it's just a matter of slightly tweaking the cube. I swore this was working beforehand. It's probably because we've adjusted the size. Yeah, it'll be that we've adjusted the size of the bowls and not the cube. I've answered my own question as I'm thinking about it. So, if we just, I don't know, make that, nope, we didn't want to do that. That's probably the only one we didn't want to affect, so good job there, Bill. So we'll make this 0.02. There we go, and we'll make this 0.02. Hey, we've got our bubbles back. Mystery solved. What was I doing? Oh yeah, variation. So if where do we want to do this? I guess at the set position. If we had a set position in about here, we should be able to do some swanky stuff. Or do I want to distort it after it's been realised? I think after. Yeah, because otherwise I won't be able to affect them individually. Cool. Excuse me for the cough. I really need to get a mute button. Set position. Okie dokie. And now we can hopefully do something kind of funky with a texture, maybe? Let's grab a noise texture. We can worry about the ranges in a moment, but at the moment I just want to see if it does anything. It does. Awesome. So now we just need to, yeah, figure out how to actually translate the noise texture into something usable. So if I grab a map range, leave that at 0 and 1 for now, and I'll just set it to 0. That should bring us back to where we are. Okie dokie. So let's try I might need to do a separate one of these for each channel, but I'm going to try and be lazy not. So anywhere from go away, minus 0.01 to 0.01. Aha. The only problem is it's going to end up making these clip. So yeah, we do need to separate them out. So combine XYZ like so. And we want to avoid, I think it's the y-axis. Yeah, we don't want to use the y-axis. Because we don't want our bubbles to cross over that line, because then it will be intercepting the glass. So if I just do X and... just said no Y. Wake up, man. There we go. That's a little better, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, I want to look at it after the Boolean and the subdivision. It'll slow it down just a tick bit. That slows it down too much. I'll just have to guess. Okay, so... maybe I want another subdivision in the first place, so we've got more geometry to work with. And then... yeah, let's just keep messing around with this. So I've added scale, added detail, and then we'll try, I don't know, 30. Ooh. Oh, that's not bad. What are people thinking? I haven't even got my chat window up. What a fucking moron. And boop. Can you bevel the Boolean edge so it looks more water drop on surface realistic? Oh, I get it. You know, like that. Yeah, you mean like the way water has that kind of slight. Yeah. I could, but not easily, because the Boolean's cutting away. I'd have to basically shape a bevel around the original sphere. I definitely could do it, and it is a very cool idea. But I think it's a bit excessive for this stage. It's I'm running up on an hour and 40, so I'm gonna skip that step. But good suggestion. Tension, that's the word. Yeah, water tension. You are completely correct. That would improve the look. But what I'll quickly explain what you'd want to do to replicate it, but I don't think we're going to go through that process now. So if I grab this and have a look, and then join geometry like so. Have that instead, actually, and just... sorry, I'm running out of room here. So I've got the... I don't want the Boolean, I just want the original shape. Anyway, there we go. And that. And then that. Okay, so at the moment we're... in fact, I can, I guess, include that. I just want to see the box as well. So yeah, we're using that box to Boolean it out. Now, to get the effect, obviously we can't add a bevel to this. That would do nothing. We could try beveling the object afterwards. There is a bevel node, isn't there? Or is there not? I could have sworn there was. But yeah, the one of the easiest ways, I guess, would be to shape the cube to have a bevel. But that sounds like a chore. What I'd probably do, because I'm lazy, and if you don't have to use geometry nodes, don't use geometry nodes. I'd probably just make a sphere, make my Boolean, and cut it out. Or just make a sphere and just manually do what we've done here. But I was trying to stay strictly geometry nodes. But yeah, good suggestion regardless. But let's add that back to our output. Like so. Yum. Ugh. Little tip, by the way, which I'll show you once my computer unfreezes. Oh, I know why it's taking ages. I'm up to the subdivision on the objects, but then the Boolean happened. I should have increased it afterwards. Oh. We could be looking at a crash here. Let's just have a look, though. Memory's alive for now. We might be okay. I'll leave it a little bit longer, then I'll just do it. Oh no, we're good. Hey, it's kind of gone a bit crazy. But yeah, if I set this back to something a bit more reasonable, the delay will be a lot less. But yeah, I was going to say, when you're using geometry nodes and they're slowing down and whatnot, what you can do is turn on timings here, and it will give you like your total time, so 7 seconds that took to render, but it will show you where your problem is, and obviously there's my issue, and it was the boolean, which is no surprise because booleans suck. But it's really handy because you can see what's causing your problem. What's a little surprising is the geometry proximity. I didn't think that would be that much of a delay, to be honest, but it's taken a second? Or is that a tenth of a second? Millisecond? Whatever. But yeah, it's certainly slowing it down as well, but the boolean's the big problem. But yeah, no biggie. But the big bubbles now are looking a lot nicer. I'm a lot happier with those. With the little bubbles, let's jump to rendered mode. I want to make them a bit smaller and more of them. So we'll set the scale, and this will screw up our boolean yet again. So I'm going to have to yet again get that so we can do it right. Ugh. It's the worst, isn't it? I'll just view that. Okay. Since we're making them smaller, I shouldn't actually have to fix this. So that's good. But I'm going to go for .001. Little baby bubbles. And then we'll connect up our scene again. What is it, 7 seconds? Ugh. In fact, the easiest thing to do, may as well show another trick here. So, for problem ones like this, yeah, what you can do is add in a switch. Yum. Like so, and an is viewport, and then feed that into the switch. So if it's in the viewport, it's going to bypass the boolean, yeah, so it will only do the boolean at render time, which is all that matters at the end of the day, isn't it? So yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. Do we have another boolean down here? No, we don't. That one's not that big of an issue. That's the big culprit, and that's now fixed. So, yeah, that's a handy little trick. I end up putting these things all over the place when I'm working because I hate waiting. Cool. So we've shrunk those down a little bit. In fact, we could have just shrunk it here. To be honest, oh, shouldn't have dragged that. I can't be. I'm not going to bother with minimum distance. What's the point? You're not going to be able to tell. Okay, let's turn this to a nice even 1 million bubbles. Maybe I shouldn't have said 1 million bubbles. Yeah, man. I don't know. Maybe the big ones are now too big. What do you reckon? Oh no, there is a subdiv. There is a subdiv. Sorry, I just saw the comment. Where is it? It's subdivision surface is the same as Catmull and there's also subdivide, which is just a flat subdivide. So yeah, it does work. You can even feed in the crease data if you need to. So it's pretty cool. I guess you're right. Actually, I could possibly use that on what you were talking about for the water tension. Good thinking. Good thinking. Okay, let's give that a quick shot. I keep getting sidetracked here. I hope this is at least vaguely entertaining, because I can't imagine it's of much use educational value-wise. Right, I'm getting confused here. What do I want to do? I want to take the output of this. That's what I want to be looking at, isn't it? And then if we subdivide, it might give us a bevel. It might do. Hey! Nice. What if I turn down the subdivision there? Does that give us a cleaner look? Maybe up that once there. Yeah, that's not too shabby. I'll leave it at the 1. But that definitely gives a hint of that water tension, doesn't it? The only thing I'm not a fan of is then the back part isn't completely flat. I don't know if that would cause us issues. I don't think there's any way to get the crease data that we'd need, or if there is, I don't know how to do it. But we'll give it a try. We'll give it a try, see how it looks. Now I'm lost. Ah, there we are. Remember what I was saying earlier about you really should use frames, otherwise you get completely lost? It's happening. It's happening a lot. Come on. There we go. How are Bubbly's things looking? Yeah, they look alright. I just want to have a look at that reference again. I know it was a shit reference, but it's better than nothing. Horizontal split, image editor, and condensation. Okay, so our big bubbles are definitely too big. Or are our little bubbles too little? I think it's the latter. Or maybe a bit of both. I'm going to slightly shrink down the bigger ones. But I'll do it via here, because then I don't have to mess around with the Boolean. I don't usually like doing this. I don't like there to be one thing controlled in 2 places, like, because I can change the scale there and there, and it's just, it makes editing it later a nightmare. But yeah, I think it will do. Come on. Okay, and then I want to make these chappies bigger. Yeah. It's not terrible, I guess. Let's have a look. Okay. So one issue I think we're having is there's so much refraction going on at this point that it's causing that to look rougher than it actually is. But let's test that theory. What I'll do is jump in here and disconnect that. Yeah, see how it's still looking rough? That's just the sheer amount of bubbles and refraction going on. So 2 solutions there. We could try and up the bounces for a start. Light paths. Let's just go nice and 64. Maybe. Zoom the camera out a little bit, actually. It's one of those situations I'm not going to be able to tell without seeing the render. Cool. Okay, we'll better do that then, I guess. Let me just save the old file and F12 that thing. In case you're wondering about hardware specs, like if you might be trying to follow along at home and being like, why is my computer exploding? I do have a relatively beastie machine. I'm currently running a 5950X with a 3090 and 64 gig of RAM. But yeah, I mean, I haven't used a huge amount of memory, so this sort of thing is definitely doable on a far lesser spec machine, it would just take longer. Whoa, loads of notes there. Give me a second, I'm just going to read up. Yeah, I do see what you mean about the noise texture. I think the scaling has to be changed to distort the bigger bubbles. But at this sort of distance, I don't think you can really tell. The main reason I wanted to do it is because it was just becoming really apparent that they were just perfectly circular blobs. And, yeah, it didn't look real to me. Is my computer behind me coming through on the audio at all? Because the fan's just ramped up since I'm rendering. I'm intrigued as to whether that's coming through over the microphone. Because I did just upgrade to a rather cool, what is it? I don't know if that is even in view there. Come on, get up. An SM58 by Shaw or something. But yeah, it's a really nice microphone. Certainly seems to be a lot better than what the crappy Elgato thing that I was using prior. I can already see that's actually going to look pretty much okay. I certainly wouldn't call it a finished work of art. This one will not be going on on ArtStation, but yeah, it's something. It's not a bad result for an hour and 50 minutes. Considering half of it was spent with me forgetting how to do basic things. Oh yeah, it would definitely have an effect. You're right, but just not enough to warrant messing about with it now. I would most definitely play around with that. Otherwise, would anyone like the blend file? Because I've actually used nothing except the HDR, which is CC0, so there's no reason I can't pack and upload the blend file if anyone wants to have a tinker, see if they can improve. Happy to do that if you like. But other than that, I think I'm gonna call it. Next week, I'm kind of torn between a couple of ideas. I like the idea of trying to make some clouds, but from the top. I play a lot of flight sims, flying around in an F-14 in DCS World, and yeah, I kind of like the idea of doing like a thick, heavy cloud base with maybe some wispy clouds up high. So that's one idea I've got, and the other one is just trying to make a nice nature scene. I've got like a complete butt ton of nature assets, trees, plants, everything you can possibly need, basically. So I was thinking maybe a fun nature scene, get away a little bit from geometry nodes for a couple of hours. But yeah, leave some comments on what else you'd like to see. I will be doing this every single week. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll upload the blend. Let me just do that now before I shut down the stream. File save. Oh, external data, pack resources, file save, and then yeah, look how empty my storage drive is. I recently bought a big NAS drive and copied a lot of stuff over to that, and then emptied out my Dropboxes. Didn't delete them, just the local version, so it's only on Dropbox. So my storage drive is looking lovely and empty, and I like it. Personal, Blender projects, condensation, packed blend, copy, Dropbox, share, paste. Let's wait for that to upload, and then I'll have a little share link, and I'll just dump that in the comment, I guess. That should work, I think. Is that uploaded? seems to have. Cool. Share. Create link. Copy link. And then can I drop that in there? Shut up, YouTube. Yeah, let me know if that works. That should be the file. It might take a minute for the comment to pop up. I know YouTube can be a little on the slow side. Yeah, I like this though. I gotta say, I like the effect. Like, obviously not the finished scene with that god awful, blocky, shite window, but yeah, that looks pretty fun. Ooh, very high contrast. That's what we like. One thing to keep an eye out, by the way, I'll post it on Twitter when it's out, but I'm recording a short for, in fact, 2 shorts for Polygon that are on their way. One's on a quick way to add windows and doors using Boolean objects. That's really interesting, but also a breakdown of how to use light groups. So yeah, keep an eye out for those. They're going to be cool. And the file worked. Excellent. Cool. Well, now it's rendered, I just want to have a quick boogie in the compositor, see if there's anything we can do to make this look a bit more fun, and then I'll call it. So, let's add in a color. No. What am I after? What's the thing where you move the curves? What's it called? RGB curves. Thanks. There we go. Idiot. Just want to kind of blow out the higher bits a little. Just a little. Don't go crazy. You have to be so delicate with this thing. Does my head in. Didn't you? Oh. I need a good tutorial on how to use this thing properly. Okay, that helped a little bit. Let's add in a glare. I'll set the mix to 1, so we're just seeing the output of that. We'll set it to fog glow, maybe. Yeah. Well, that's rather ugly, isn't it? Lower the threshold a tad. That's a bit pants. Isn't it? Can I? No. That's starting to get somewhere. Cool. I could just mix that back in, but I prefer to actually use a color mix node. And just add. Turn it down a little. Yeah. There may be a... I don't know. Color balance. Give it a bit of a... should we make it warmer or colder? Let's make it a little warmer. Does that make the slightest bit... Oh no, idiot. Oh no, that made it colder. Wait a minute. Oh, I already had that one selected. But yeah, when you're using Filmic, you should use the offset power slope rather than the lift gamma gain. And it basically works exactly the same. The only difference is the mid channel is inverted. So if you want to warm the look, you actually go into the blue, and if you want to cold it, you go into the orange. Don't know why, but that's how it works. And we'll go for slightly blue highlights. Or do I want to double down on the warming? Nah. Cool. yeah, I think that'll do. So yeah, thanks very much for watching my first god-awful attempt at a live stream. Thanks for bearing with me. And I'll... Well, let me know time-wise, because I'm free every Wednesday. I have a meeting at like 11 p.m. UK time. So, assuming I do about 2 hours like I've done today, I could start at 7, 8, even 9. We'd be pushing it, but I could. So, yeah. Anyone watching now or anyone that watches afterwards, just leave a comment on what times you prefer, and I'll see what I can do to accommodate. But thanks very much, and yeah, happy blendering. Bye-bye.